Good morning, everyone. Today is finally Friday, August 29th, and today we will cover the trades for YieldMax funds, TSLY, CONY, Nvidia, MSTY, SMCY, PLTY, and HOOY with a splash of ULTY and SLTY, of course. So thank you all for being here. Bitcoin is not behaving this morning. It's dropping just a little bit. If we go back 1 week, it was looking green and then, kind of tumbling down. And then we pulled a 1 month chart. Remember, we were at 123 and now we sit at 109. So yeah, if we're wondering why MSTR is going down, there's your answer, right? It's going down, Bitcoin going down, and then MSTY obviously going down too. And don't forget, MSTY pays a distribution. All right. And before we get into the trades, it's time to ask a favor. If you enjoy this content, please hit the like button. It does go a long way. Whether you're on X, because again, we are streaming live on X and YouTube. On X, if you don't mind hitting the heart, and YouTube, hit the thumbs up. If you want to take it an additional step, it's appreciated if you can repost this sucker on YouTube and on X. And that way more people find out and they say, hey, I want to join the party at 6 a.m. because what else is going on at 6 a.m., right? All right. Thank you in advance, and let's get to it. So who had trades yesterday? Well, again, Thursday is one of the busier days in the YieldMax office, as Friday is. Of course, today's Friday, so we're expecting a lot of trades today. But again, most of the trades, let's look at MSTY first. Very busy day, like we said. I got the 200% zoom, so hopefully the view is all good for you guys. And so you could see here, they opened, oh yeah, thank you for confirming audio. Completely forgot about that. They did add trades for next week. So you can see the expiration date right here, 959595. And then here they sold a call from this week, and then they open new trades for next week. And then down here, they're closing out trades because obviously, MSTR hasn't really gone up. So of course, the covered calls are going to be successful, overall winning trades. So, long story short, they closed a few trades and they opened a few. All right. But not as many as they closed. So they're leaving a lot of, synthetic open without the covered calls to, give it a chance for some upside potential. But obviously, Bitcoin is not giving us the upside chance. So we'll see, though. The day is young. All right. So the value of all these trades, they made about 12.2 mil yesterday. So yeah, I'll take one of those mils. What do you think? All right, so let's get to the MSTY file and we'll talk from there. Since you did not see any purple on the spreadsheet, there was no synthetic action. So we'll just head on to the weeklies. And how'd you do, MSTR? Let's see again, yesterday was 828. Again, a lot of trades here. So MSTR, they went down 0.94%. MSTY for the day, they went down 7.32%. Obviously, yesterday was ex-dividend date, so the fund will drop by the amount of the distribution, which I believe was $1.08, plus, obviously, plus or minus whatever, the underlying does based on the covered call position, of course. So, yeah, the big drop yesterday, but again, ex-dividend date. Every 4 weeks, ex-dividend date, ex-dividend date. But guess what today is, guys? Today is payday. So happy payday. Enjoy your distributions. It's still $1. If things keep up this way, the next one will not be $1. But hey, we'll see. We're due for some explosion here, for some rockets to the moon. All right. So IV wise, let's see. We were showing 55.94% yesterday. 30-day IV today, 54. 7-day forward IV looking very pretty at 67%. IV on the downside, though, we don't really want that type of IV. So anyway, let's take a look at the trades. Anything in gray is whatever we covered previously, so I will skip over those. So here again, this was just a buy call, right? They did not need it, right? Because they did not blow through any of their covered calls. So they made 8 cents per share on that. And then right here, what you see, 2500, these had a 365 strike price. And MSTR, it closed at what, 338 being well below 365. That's why it only cost 36 cents per share. So if you scroll to the right here, this trade brought in 1.7 mil, and the other one brought in about 1.8 mil. All right, let's check out some of these others. 4,891, 7,000. All right, so this group here, we'll take a look. There is a buy call in between, which obviously didn't make much, but they sold it. And these strikes, 365 and 372.50, all winners. So we'll net the profit all together between everything. And that made about $11 million in profit. Again, if they did not do any covered call strategy, this $11 million would not exist. All right. So again, it's hard for, when new investors, they just look at the price and they see it going down. They say, oh my God, this fund is terrible. They don't really, they have to see the inner makings of it. Again, that's why we're doing this video. I know a lot of you, know this, you've been here for freaking probably a year or two. So I'm just trying to explain to the, the newer listeners, if you're out there. All right. So here's two buy calls, made 11 cents per share. And then this one, 3,000 contracts, only cost 28 cents to close the 370. So if you look here, obviously, if you net these three, they lost 615,000, but that had, 10,000 contracts on the buy call, 3,000 on the sell call. But down here, here's a buy call, sell call. If you net these two together, again, I'm just going to group them. It's just easier. It goes quicker. Uh-oh, the baby woke up. See, I'm trying to talk low and it doesn't even work. They made about 2.1 mil on this one. And sorry, just keep going down the line. I'm seeing if he's sometimes he tries to rush down here before my wife catches him. All right, so 13,000 contracts. This is a big position, 370. This one only cost 28 cents per share. If you look here, this made about $8.2 million. Again, one big trade right there, pretty sweet. And then here's a couple others. Let's highlight them all. There's a buy call in there. We'll add that in there. Why not? But yeah, again, these are all winners. They won every single trade. All right. So again, the losses you see, those are simply the credit call spread piece, the buy call, the long call, the insurance policy, which obviously they did not need because they did not get blown through on their strike prices. But if you net everything together on this bunch, they made another $6.1 million. Again, hopefully all of this makes sense. If you don't understand, then you can let me know. Again, we are live. I am looking at the comments, although I don't read them all the time. But if it's relevant to what I'm covering, I will bring it up. All right. But in generic questions, though, are held to the end if you can hold back until then. All right. Outstanding shares did have an increase about 475,000. So people keep buying. They bought on ex-dividend date. They bought on declaration date. They bought the day before that and the day before that. So fund still growing, regardless of, the negative feedback you see out there. MSTY price is still in the 15s, 1570. MSTR price, 338. We went through the IVs, but 30-day IV is 54, 7-day forward IV 67%. Outstanding shares 301 mil. Total net income 12.8 mil. Total distribution 4 cents. Daily income about a penny per day. Daily yield 0.07%. And if you annualize that sucker, sorry, I'm still speaking low as if he's not awake, 24%. Hey, not bad. Not a bad start for the week. All right. Let's take a look at the various funds and see how they did yesterday. Again, we will take a look at MSTR. They went down again, 0.94%. Now, MSTY, if I add back the distribution, they actually only went down 0.89%. So they went down less than MSTR. Winter went up 0.58%. Again, adding back look at their distribution, 219. Oh, baby. All right, IMST, they went down 0.97%. They actually went down more than MSTR. That's interesting. MST went down 2%. MS2, wow, okay, good work, buddy. They only went down 0.78%. They beat Misty. Good job. And then MSTW, they went down 1.17%. So MS2 with the win. Wow, that was it's a good job right there. Again, it's a good fund. It's a good fund. The Rec Shares fund. All right, let's move on. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Blah. Sorry, that's how I feel right now. Blah, 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 blah. When you look at Bitcoin, what do you think? What do you say? Like, do you say blah? Or do you say like, come on, Cletus? Anyway, Group D declares again in 26 days on September 24th. All right, payment details. Let's see how we doing. No synthetic income. Extrinsic income is 16 mil. Weekly income, 12 mil. Total net income, 12 mil, obviously, because there's no synthetic income. So the net income shows 4 cents, extrinsic 5 cents. So yeah, again, the estimate's way too early to play around with that, talk about that. It just started. The 4-week cycle just started this week. So we'll just look at the IVs to get an idea what the next payment would be simply based on that, which again, it doesn't mean this is what they're going to pay. It just gives you like a ballpark figure, 60 to 82 cents. There are no gains yet, bro. So hopefully in due time, we do better gain-wise in this cycle. But yeah, man, we'll see. All right, so if we look at the holdings, we still got the 5 synthetic positions. Some of them expire next month on September 19th, and some of them expire the following month on October 17th. But what do they have in common? They're all gold diggers. She take my money when I'm in need. So what does that mean? These pretty expensive to close, right? When they sell a put, they get a credit when they sell it. So now, again, depending on how they end, obviously we have to pay to close it. It's going to cost a pretty penny. So the put is obviously cost more than what we'll get in closing the call. Are we going to catch up to these prices? Probably not, especially not the 919s. We still do have time though. There still is time, so never say never. But right now it's just not looking too fantastico. All right, now let's look at the calls for this week. So what do we got expiring Friday or today? What do we have expiring today? We have, that's a buy call. All right, this should be green. Sorry. Again, green are the buy calls, blue are the sell calls. So today, what's expiring? Just one covered call, 355, 4.77% out of the money. Everything else that's open is for next week, but there ain't much open. And actually, I have to fix my math now that I'm thinking about it, because this is not a covered call. But yeah, I think I'm not worried one bit. I mean, obviously MSTR pre-market, it's not going to be green. I mean, we could take a look real quick, actually. I'll pull it up in a second. Okay. Should have pulled this up before. All right, so here's MSTR pre-market. We are down, shocker, 1.84%. Because again, Bitcoin's down. So typically, it kind of follows Bitcoin. It is what it is, man. We'll see. Why is Bitcoin going down? I don't know. Your guess is as good as mine. All right, so let's scroll down to the bottom, and then we'll go from there. All right, so synthetics, negative. Like prognosis negative, like big time negative. So we're not going to cry about that right now. The value of the fund, 4.7 bill. The NAV, 1570. Trade price is the same. All right, so I got to fix this. Synthetic contracts is correct, 139,615. But covered calls, let me fix this. It is F17 to F20. And then plus that. Okay. So covered calls, they have 57,500. So they're doing covered calls on 41% of the position. All right. Which leaves 58% uncappity doodah. So whether we go up or whether we go down, we're going to go down 1 for 1 or up 1 for 1 on about 58% of the position. 41%, it all depends on how the covered calls do and how much they cost and whatnot. Credit call spreads, obviously, I need to fix this as well. This is adding just these 3 transactions, but there is one up above. Not cover call, long calls. 91% of that. All right, so they're ready. They are ready for the upside. Unfortunately, today does not look like that day, but hey, you never know, right? New York lottery. Hey, you never know. All right, so let's move on now to the other items. By the way, there are 316 of you on this Friday. Just want to say real quick, thank you for being here. Appreciate it. Again, if you're new to this kind of agenda, we cover the YieldMax trades on some of the funds. We go over my option stuff, and then we chit chat at the end a little bit. So enjoy the ride. All right, so let's cover TSLY if we could find it. All right, how's the view? How's the zoom? I assume it's massive enough that you guys can see. All right, so what are they doing? What are they doing? Buy to close put. All right, so they're closing out some of the synthetic. And yeah, broskies, look at this, 5.6 mil on the call that they sold. Is that nice? I mean, look at that. That's pretty damn sweet. And then what's happening here? Buy to close. Okay, so they're closing some of the covered calls. 12 cents, 14 cents, 25 cents, chump change. So they won those trades. And then they're selling calls for next week, making more money. And yeah, so we'll see how that goes. They made about $7.3 million in realized income yesterday. How did Tesla do yesterday? Tesla, they went down about 1.05%. TSLY went down about half of that, 0.5%. So, hey, not a bad day in the office for TSLY. How's their synthetic position? Well, they're doing great on both. They have a 290 strike and a 295 on both synthetic positions. You know, sell put buy call. This is just the put we're showing. Obviously, the put, see, it costs very cheap to close out the put as compared to what bank we're getting on the freaking call. See, these are the dudes, right? These dudes, they ain't got no gold diggers on TSLY. You know, they're making some bank, and they're only, you know, paying out their ladies a little bit because, you know, they're not gold diggers. So that's the beauty about these synthetics here. Now, they expire 9/19. Are they closing them anytime soon? Maybe. They don't have to, but they got time. Now let's look at what's open for this week. Anything in black font would be what's expiring today. Anything in red font is expiring next week. So covered calls, we got a 342.50, 1% in the money. So what does that mean? It means it could be a losing trade. It depends how it ends. Actually, you know what? Let's look at the pre-market too while we're at it. Because if Tesla goes down 1%, we don't even got to worry about it. I think the market looked pretty red today overall from what I saw. Yeah, Tesla's down about 0.85%. Again, this is as of what, 6:20 a.m. Of course, a lot can change. A lot can change till the open. A lot can change at the open and even during the day. So we can't really rely on that. But it's going to be a close one. Their other covered calls are out of the money, but barely. 0.44% to 1.88% out of the money. And then obviously down below are the trades for next week, which we're not going to waste our time on. We'll talk about that on tomorrow's video. All right, the value of the TSLY fund, the assets under management is 1.1 bill. The NAV is 808, trade price 807. Synthetic on paper, again, if you net the puts and the calls together, it's worth about 181 mil, which comes to about $1.31 per share. 30-day IV of Tesla is 43%, and then the 7-day is 46. So, whatever, right? So that means the estimate based on the IV is 27 to 29 cents. And guess what? They declare next week. So we got to start thinking about that. What are we getting paid on TSLY? Well, if you look at the synthetic, you're going to get something. You're going to get a little something. So we'll see how it goes. And we'll go from there. If it's based on the income, you ain't getting jack. But don't worry, it's not. It depends on various factors, and you'll probably get, at least the 27 cents. Probably double that, probably triple that, but we'll see. We'll throw out a guesstimate on Sunday morning. All right, up next, we'll talk about Nvidia. How you doing, Nvidia? No, how you doing? No, how you doing? So what's going on in the chat, guys? Anyone off today? Everyone working? What's the deal? What's the deal, peoples? We got 366 of you. It's Friday morning. You're half asleep. You're having coffee, black coffee, I hope. Yeah. Hopefully it's an easy day. How to invest for yourself. Good YouTube name. Good morning. There you go. Good morning. All right. So Nvidia bought a close 19 cents. Bought a close 15 cents. Bought a close. All right. They won their trades. That's what you need to know. They closed out their trades for this week and they opened new trades for next week. That's the moral of the story. And they made a realized income of about 3.9 mil. So not bad, not bad, not bad at all. All right. So there's the comments. You guys woke up. All right, good. Let's just look at some comments real quick. What is work? Unfortunately, it is a pain in the ass. That's what it is. Freedom Day. Is this the day? Retire abroad? Is this your last working day? Congratulations if it is. LA's got to build a house. He's always working. Saturday for brother. Marsha driving to work. Feel your pain, man. How's your commute? How's your commute, Marsha? How long? All right. We are active. All right. Let me get back to the content. All right. Let's go to the file. Nvidia yesterday, they went down 0.79%. Nvidia actually went up 0.64%. So that's pretty sweet. All right. Let's look at the synthetic position. We got a 165 and a 170. They both expire when 9/19. All right, a few weeks away. But Nvidia price is at 180, so we're doing all right. All right, that thing's worth a decent penny. Now let's take a look at the covered calls, because that's why we're here, right? We want to see if they sell covered calls that expire on a weekly basis. 40-minute commute, that's not terrible. It's better than mine, but it still sucks. All right, so cover call wise, what do we got? We got a 180.07% in the money. All right, we'll see how it goes. Again, the market's looking a little red. So if we take a look at Nvidia, it may not be a worry, actually. Let's see. Oh, we got the prior searches in there. That's good. Yeah, they're down 1.18%. Friday sell-off. This is what happened last week. Down 1.18%. So this 180 should be fine. I mean, right? Because if you look again, Nvidia pre-market 178.07. So if we actually close at 178.07, depending the time of day that they close this position, it's going to be a winning trade. Winner, chicken freaking dinner, man. Chicken freaking dinner. All right. The other position is 1.32% out of the money, again, based on the closing price yesterday. All right. So far, so good. All right, Nvidia, what's the assets under management? 1.9 billion. The NAV 1715, trade price 1715. All right, they're hanging tight, right? They're worth more than Misty, right? Are they the GOAT now? Who's the GOAT? Maybe PLTY's the GOAT, right? Because Bitcoin's beating up on Misty, but we'll see. Maybe we'll have to talk about that. All right, synthetic on paper, it's worth about $1.27 per share, which is pretty damn sweet. 30-day IV, 32%. 7-day IV, 51%. So IV estimate based on that, 43 to 68 percent. All right. Income estimate showing 35 cents. But they don't declare next week. They declare the week after that on September 10th. And yeah, that's it. That's it on Nvidia. Up next, your boy CONY heads. Oh yeah. In case you have not seen Cone Heads, you must watch Cone Heads, because then you'll understand why we talk like, nah. Okay, let's take a look at their trades. All right, here we go. Fit them all on one page. Sweet. All right. Buy to close, 35 cents, 17 cents. That's a win. They won. I won. 4.9 mil they made about yesterday. So that's pretty good. I'd say so, right? All right, let's take a look at all this on the file. All right. Coin yesterday barely moved. It went down 0.16%. CONY went down 0.14%. All right. Oh, no. CONY went up 0.14%. Got to open my eyes today. Hold on. All right. I had to smack myself. Sometimes that'll help, right? Let's see. Synthetic position for CONY, 320. But coin is actually at 308. So, yeah. But we got till what? 9/19 and October 17th on the other one. All right, let's look at the cover calls. They got a lot going on here, a lot to look at. I don't care about next week. We're focusing on this week. Are you ready? Boom, boom. All right, so lowest strike, 312.50, 1.31% out of the money. Highest strike, 327.50, 6.17% out of the money. Are they safe? Probably. Again, we're looking like freaking red. I'll be selling puts today because it's going to be red wine. We are down 1.29%. Oh boy. So yeah, I'm not worried about these positions, but hey man, we'll see. All right, let's take a look at this action. CONY, the assets under management on CONY, 1.3 billion. B. The NAV is 694 and the trade price 693. Synthetic position negative. Prognosis negative. 30-day IV 50%. 7-day forward IV 54%. So we're looking at an estimate between 27 and 29 cents based on the IV. Based on the income, you're looking at 12 cents. However, Group C has 19 days till they declare. So stay tuned for that. Chico. Marsha says, where's the coffee? It's right here. I'm actually going to take a sip. Oh, man. I honestly don't feel like working today, but yeah, that's another story for another day. All right, SMCY suckers, how you doing? No, how you doing? Let's see. I know you got trades. Everyone got freaking trades, right? That was a busy day. It's a busy day in the neighborhood. All right, buy, call, sell, put, sell, call. Okay, so they're adding new positions to the synthetic position, right? And they're selling the call, and that's it. All right, new money coming in SMCY because people like the dividend. All right, so they made about what, 73,200 yesterday. Not bad, not a bad day in the office. All right, so let's take a look at SMCY. They went down 1.8%. Not a great day for them. SMCY went down a lot more, 8.83%. But again, they paid, a distribution this week. And yesterday was their ex-dividend date. So they dropped, obviously, by that amount, plus whatever SMCY freaking did. All right, now let's look at the synthetic position. They got a 45, and a 60. Both expire on 9/19. Okay. Now the 45 is okay. It's basically at the money. But the 60, man, she take my money. Yeah, man. Gold digger right here. Look at that. That's a freaking gold. That is, you see it? I mean, do you see this or what? Like, what do we have to do? I mean, do you see it? Can you see it? I can't even zoom in anymore because the gold digger's stopping me. But right there, 47 million she wants. All right. Let's see what the dude who brought her here, he's got $472,000 to his name. She wants 47 mil. Bro, stay in your league, bro. Stay in your league, please. I'm tired of singing. I need my vocal cords. All right. Let's look at the SMCY suckers. All right. Covered call wise, how we doing? Well, we are close. But that drop yesterday actually helped. It kept us out of the money. Now, first, before we jump to conclusions, we will look at the pre-market, which I'm assuming is red because everything's freaking red, right? Let me look at my watch list. What's green? Basically nothing. Nothing's green. So again, it's looking like a sell-off today, unfortunately. So misty people, yeah, maybe we'll hit 14. Who the hell knows? But for now, super micro nerdy ass computer company, they're down 1.64%. All right, 43.25 they're at. 43.25 under the lowest strike of 44. So hey, at least we're going to win our cover calls if things stay the way they are, right? We don't want the market to sell off, but hey, cover call strategy, winner, winner, right? We'll see how it goes though. Highest strike is 46. That's 4.62% out of the money. So yeah, they got some room, man. They got some room. It's looking like a winner, winner day. All right, so the value of the SMCY fund, which means the assets under management, 339 mil. The NAV is 1541. Trade price the same. Synthetic position, negative, bad again because that's 60. Let's look at the IVs though. SMCY's always got a good IV. 30-day IV, 53%. 7-day forward IV, 89%. So again, they don't declare for another 26 days, but again, we look at the payment based on the IV, 63 cents to $1.06. So not bad at all. All right, up next, your boy PLTY. P to the L to the T to the Y. Oh my God, a lot of trades. All right, on the top, we're going from top to bottom. We do this really, 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 really quick. Buy call, sell put, sell call, buy call. All right, so 1,800 contracts added in. New money coming in. That's good. Buy to close, 16 cents. Buy to close, 14 cents. What else? Buy to close, 15 cents. Buy to close, 16 cents. So yeah, they won their trades. And did they open positions for next week? Yeah, they did, which is good. Again, that's good, good, good. However, the net for the day, they actually did lose or paid $657,000. It looks like because of the synthetic position where they entered it. All right, makes sense. Great. Let's move on to the spreadsheet. How did Palantir do yesterday? They went up. Good. At least some did. They went up 0.89%. PLTY went up more. Look at that, man. 0.95%. Beautiful. All right. So how's the synthetic doing? It's a 140. All right. It's a 140. How do you think it's doing? It's doing great. It expires on 9/19 and Palantir is at 158. So yeah, that synthetic, bro, is awesome. And I'll show you what it's worth in a sec. But before that, let's look at the covered calls that expire today. They have a 160, 162.50. 1 and 2% out of the money. Are these safe? I don't know. Let's check Mr. Pre-Market here and see what he's got to say. Negative. Palantir is down 1.25%. Again, obviously, everything is down today. That's what you're seeing. So it is what it is. So these covered calls should be safe, realistically. But we'll see how the day goes, man. It's a long day ahead, unfortunately. The value of PLTY is 618 mil. The NAV is 60.98. Trade price 60.97. Synthetic position, I told you I'd tell you, it's worth 72 freaking mil. 7.19 per share. I mean, that's pretty damn sweet. And guess what, guys? They're part of Group B. They don't declare next week. They declare the week after, 12 days away. Are we getting a pretty payment? Yes. I mean, based on the income, again, I'm not even going to cover that. It doesn't even matter because I know we're getting $5, at least $5. So forget the freaking IV estimate and income estimate. All right. Up next is your boy, HOOY. All right, I got it. Buy to close 14 cents. Buy to close 13 cents. Buy to close 12 cents. Buy to close 13 cents. All right. What does that mean? That means they won their trades. All right. They won their trades because it costs chump change to close them out. And what they get, they got a credit at first, right? You look at the credit they got for this one, right? 215. So it's probably around what they got for opening these trades last week. So obviously, if you net two together, that's a winner. Overall for the day, they did make 716K, bro. So that's pretty good. But let's look at the file. Robinhood, they went up 0.74%. HOOY went up more. They went up 0.79%. So in your face. Nah. There's the garbage, man. Just on time. And yes, I know I put the garbage out. Sweet. All right, so you'd be surprised, man, with freaking 2 kids. That thing fills up fast, super fast, as does the recycle. All right, anyway, how's the hood doing? How's their synthetic doing? Well, they got a 105. Robinhood is priced at 103. So, yeah, it's pretty much at the money or so, but they expire. That thing expires in October, before Halloween. Can't believe Halloween's coming up. Yeah, everything's coming up now. Freaking fall. Oh, boy. All right. Anyway, let's look at the trades. All right, so they closed out everything that expired this week. So this is what we got. It's what I got. I said, remember that. All right, so they are 5 and 6% out of the money for next week. But if you look, let's see, they got 6,000 on covered calls. Look at their position. They got 21,000 on the synthetic. So they're waiting. They're waiting for today to see what happens. You know, they got some uncapped-duda. They probably made the income they made for the week, so they left. You know, they let it be. Unfortunately, it looks like, you know, did we even look at the pre-market yet? I'm sure it's red. I don't even know why I'm looking, but you know, the story today is red. Yeah, everything's down 1%, 2%, whatever. Robinhood is down 1.23%. So have fun buying what you want, selling puts today. It's gonna be a good day. It's gonna be a good day. All right, red days are good too. I know they don't seem like it all the time, but they are. All right, here's the value of the fund, 223 mil. The NAV is 63.44, and the trade price is 63.26. All right, synthetic on paper, negative. But let's look at the IVs. Robinhood IV is 60%, not bad. 7-day forward IV, 64. So that's all right. But they're part of Group C. They don't declare until 19 days away on September 17th. And they did produce an income estimate of 88 cents so far. So that's pretty good. We'll take it, bro. We'll take it. All right. Now we'll do some coverage on SLTY, ULTY. So first, we'll look at the trades. Again, we do minimum coverage. Yesterday was the 28th. SLTY, what they do, they made about $69,000 selling all this crap. All right. Abercrombie didn't do much, you know, but I think it's time to sing it. What do you think? New Kids on the Block had a bunch of hits. Chinese food makes me sick, and I think it's fly when the girls stop by for the summer. For the summer, I like girls that wear Abercrombie and Fitch. I'll take it if I had one wish. Blah 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 blah. Gotta remember all the words. But anyway, why do we sing that? Abercrombie. As long as Abercrombie is in SLTY, then we're gonna be singing that song. You know, unfortunately for you. But yeah, man, good stuff. So where do they make the money? Not Abercrombie and Fitch, even though we just sang for them. Bill Holdings. What the hell? Bill Holdings, 30,000. That's pretty sweet. Astera Labs, 13,000. GitLab, 9,000. Oh, yeah. Oh, so, yeah, good stuff. Let's take a look at ULTY. Did ULTY make money? No, they lost 30 mil. What, intonation? All right, so who is the culprit? This Applevision, they lost 4.2 mil. AST Mobile brought them in some income. CoreWeave, they lost 5.4 mil. Robinhood, 2 mil they made. That's good. But then here's the culprit. Oklo, they lost. It looks like they blew past on their covered calls, and they lost about 7.4 mil. Rigetti, they lost about 6.8 mil. All right, that's a rough day in the office, but it is what it is. All right. What about ULTY Holdings? What's going on here? No Abercrombie in the ULTY Holdings. What do they got? They got anything new and exciting? No, not really. Just the same old lame-o. High IV. They still got that BMNR. That's cool. What's the value of ULTY? 3.1 bill. Nothing new there. Average IV, 70%. So again, nothing new and exciting. SLTY. Oh no! Abercrombie is completely out. Oh no! We're gonna have to find a new song. All right, we'll have to. Well, don't worry, guys. There will be a new song. We'll have to think of one. All right, that's up to you guys. Okay, did they add anything new? I don't think so. Oh damn! Oh damn! Are they shorting MSTR? Oh damn! Oh damn! Oh damn! Oh, we did not see that. Anyway, the value of SLTY OM 6 mil. The average IV is 75%. So yeah. All right. So that's the coverage on the YieldMax funds. Now we're going to talk about options. So let's get into that, and then we'll go through some Q&A if you guys have any. By the way, there's 524 of you between YouTube and X, and thank you for being here. If you missed it in the beginning, I asked if you don't mind, please hit the like button. You know, there's a heart on X. There's a thumbs up on YouTube. Helps the channel, I think. And then the repost option. You know, that's like a bonus for me if you repost it. And then people know, oh, my God, you're watching this guy. Is that fun? Sure. All right. Anyway, Misty, I have covered calls expiring today. I had an 18 and a 19. Misty being at 1570 at the close. There is no worry, especially with Bitcoin being down today, of these being assigned. So what will happen is these will expire worthless. In fact, I'm going to put it down right now because there's no doubt in my mind that these will expire worthless. All right. So that's okay. That's okay. Because remember, I said I'm going to sell covered calls on these shares, and they're not just going to sit there. And, you know, I was always thinking I'm not selling covered calls under my cost basis, but that mentality's gone. You know, I'm just going to sell covered calls and make money, you know, regardless of the price. It's not typically of the normal thinking. But again, I want to make this an all options account. Okay. 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 Anyway, TSLL, how you doing? Let's see. Did I do any trades yesterday? Who the hell can remember anything? Yes, I did. I sold a put because they were down. All right. So now I got 4 trades for 926. It's getting a little crowded there. So I did sell a put for, it was at 1317. I sold a put at 10. All right. So that makes it what? 24% out of the money. What was the delta? It was 0.12. You would consider that's really super safe, which is cool. All right. We like safe. And it brought me what? 23 bucks, annualized yield 28%. Nothing too fantastic. All right. We're not like, you know, impressing anyone with our numbers here, but that's okay. Now, what expires today? So let's look at the pre-market actually as we talk about this, and let's see if anything is in danger. Danger. Get on the floor. All right. TSLL is down 1.74%. It's at 12.97. Let's take a look here. Covered call. I've got a covered call for $12. Obviously, this is in danger. It's in the money. So what I could do is I could roll this into next week. And not next week. I'll actually probably roll it into the probably this week, the 926 week. And make that even more crowded, or I can go out another week and go from there. And that'll pay me a credit since it is close to the price, so I'm not worried about that. These puts 9 and 11, these are going to expire worthless, so I'll get my capital back on those, and that would be the end of it. Nothing too exciting there. Again, for TSLL, I currently have 700 shares, covered calls on 700 of those. And for the week, I did make $134 so far on TSLL. TNA, dynamite. All right, yesterday they were down as well. I sold a put, this one with an expiration date of 9/19. The stock price was at 42. I went way out of the money, 17% out of the money, choosing a $35 strike with a 0.11 delta, again, considered rather safe. Why am I playing it so safe? Because TNA, it's near like a high. Like it's been going up. It's only been going up. And I'm just scared of when the sell-off happens, how far down this sucker's going to drop. So I got to protect myself when that happens. So that paid me 45 bucks for basically, again, I'm lending out $3,500 until 9/19. And they gave me $45 for doing that. That yielded me 21%. It's not my 50% that I strive for, but again, I don't have to, you know, I'm pretty much at my goal for the month as is, but again, I'm not at my weekly goal, which is okay. I'll hit it today. But for TNA, I made 86 bucks for this week. Okay. So weekly income, where am I at? All right. I'm at $220. Oh, no, I did meet my goal. So I had to make 211 because the distribution on Misty was a little higher than my whatever. I threw in like $1, but whatever. So I'm $8 over my goal. Actually, my surplus for all these weeks for August, I'm actually $1,000 ahead. But, you know, I did play it maybe a little too aggressive early on in August, but hey, all good. Now, yeah, so that's the update on the income. And then I'm going to update the balance. All right. So let's do that real quick. and then we'll do some quick Q&A, and then we'll call it a day. Okay, here we go. All right, balance. It is 54,246.01. Okay, available cash 25,840. Okay, did collect some premium yesterday. Pending puts, again, I sold 2 puts yesterday, so this number is going to go up. It's now at 18.5. Okay, 18, where is it? 500. So my actual cash is 7,340. Oh, I forgot to go over the TNA expiration for today. I wanted to mention this to you guys. I have 2 covered calls, a 33 and a 34, way in the money. Still not assigned yet, by the way. I did try to roll them to get one more time. Look at the price. I tried to roll them to 919 or even a week after, and it was yielding me about 10%. And I'm like, okay, that's not really worth it. So I'm going to let these 2 go. So I'm going to get more cash in the account for, you know, on Friday. So whatever, obviously 33, you know, so about like what, 6,700 bucks back in the account. So keep that in mind. So again, actual cash shows this, but it will increase due to that. So once I update it on tomorrow. All right, withdrawable margin, this number should go down. 18,706.01. And then, you know, trading margin is 188.37. Okay, there we go. That's the update on the balances, and that's the update on my options, and this, that, and the other thing. All right, so now we will cover the comments. Sorry, I know it takes a while to go through the data, but do you have any questions on my options? Do you have any questions on YieldMax? Do you have any questions on anything? Let's talk about it. All right, let's talk about it. We got some time before we all got to go to work and begin this wonderful freaking day. All right, what do we got here? Anything? All right, which song? Summer Girls, you adding it? You gonna listen on the way to work? Yield question: did YieldMax pay return of capital on MSTY last November? What do you mean, like for the year, or for the month of November, or are you talking about like for the whole year? But no, I don't think anything from last year was return of capital. All right, I think it was 0% return of capital, right? Yeah, the whole year. I mean, that should be on the website, right? So let's see if we go here. Where the hell is MSTY? MSTY. Annual financial statements. All right, zoom in, and I don't know how hard. It's probably not easy to find the section, but let's see. It might be a part towards the end where this is summarized. Qualified dividend income received deduction. The percent of taxable ordinary income distributions that are designed. All right, so where's MSTY? So if I'm reading this correctly, this is the ordinary income percentage. So obviously 100% minus this number would be the ROC. I'm looking at MSTR right here. So it looks like 98% of, again, assuming I'm reading this correctly at this very moment, it's a huge file, 106 pages. We can confirm it later, but I'm showing that 98% was ordinary income, right? Because again, the percentage of taxable ordinary income distributions that are designed. Okay, so again, this is the percentage of taxable ordinary income. So when they say ordinary income, 98% is taxed at ordinary income, which means it's not return of capital. So how much ROC was MSTY? About 1.52%. All right. So hopefully that answers the question, TNA. All right. What else we got? All right. Who's Kevin? Kevin. Talking about Meet Kevin. He did a video, right? Yeah. I know people are asking me about that. So they asked if I could do a video on his video. I don't do that stuff. I don't put up people's videos on my video and talk about their videos. You know, I do my own crap, but I did watch his video, and to be honest, I don't think he made any valid points, in my opinion, at all. I'm not going to lie. And I did message him on Twitter, and I asked him if he wanted to be on the morning show to talk about it. I'm sure he won't answer, but hey, it's worth a try. You know, no reason, you know, I'm not going to like knock the guy, but maybe he did it for clicks, maybe not. It is what it is. Obviously, he's a super successful dude. All right, just going through some comments. Thank you for reposting this stream, Larry. No, well, they do a semi-annual. So this is the annual for last year. They do a semi-annual for, you know, the beginning or for like mid-year this year. So I'm sure they have something up there. But I'm not going to bore more people looking up files. All right. Is that it on the question? That's it. All right. So you guys got anything else? We got 617 of you. Does anyone have any other questions? Or should we just wrap it up, call it a day? I'm going to take a sip of coffee while you guys think about it. You know what? Let's get some music on. Even if we're ending, we'll get some little music. Daydreaming. All right. That's us today, daydreaming, just staring. It's a wrap. Wrap it up. Wrap it up. Wrap it in. Let me begin. All right. We got to wrap it up. Wolf is leaving. All right. Did you know that? Did you guys know Wolf is leaving anyway? He's leaving us. Is that messed up? All right. Bitcoin. Let's see if Bitcoin's doing anything good for us. Not really. Not really. It's still being mean. Let's put the 1 day. It inched up a second, and yeah. It is what it is, man. Keyword. Yeah, we're gonna get to that. Buffalo wrap. Have you picked a date and number yet, Rod? No. I don't know. It's not as easy with young kids. You got to just do it, or I don't know. Yeah, I got to commit to something. That's for sure. Start the weekend early. I wish. I'm gonna work today. Sucks. Duty calls now. The school has started. You a teacher, Wolf? Oh, yeah. Did retire abroad. Is this her last day? She's still here? I wanted to say congratulations. Pull it up. Is she retiring today? Where is she? Can't see her. No, you're still here. Is today your last day? Yes. Okay, it is. So she retire abroad is going to be the key word. Sorry, I'm not giving you guys a choice. So let me just get to the spiel. As always, guys, this is not financial advice. I am not a financial advisor. And this video It's supposed to be for fun and entertainment. So hopefully you had fun. Hopefully you're entertained. If not, I don't know, man. Come back tomorrow. We'll be entertained. If you have a, you know, suggestions on different type of content, changing the content, something, or let me know. I'm all up for it, man. Again, we do a video every morning. We've been covering these funds for a while. If it's getting stale, we need to do something else. Let's do it. All about it. Obviously, you saw we changed the Monday. Doesn't mean we can't change, you know, these days and do other things, cover more funds, you know, compare. You know, if I could automate it too, if I can automate, save me time, would be fantastic. But yeah, man. What else? If you enjoy this content, I think I said that enough. I won't go through that again. So let's just get to the keyword. If you made it this far in the video and you want to prove it, you gotta say the keyword. So, as many of you know, Retire Abroad Finance, famous YouTuber in here. She's retiring today. Today's her last day. Let's all be jealous, but at the same time, let's all be happy for her and say, congratulations, Retire Abroad Finance. All right. I know that's a lot. So you could say, congratulations, RAF. You can say, congratulations, Retire Abroad. Or you can just say, congratulations. You can't call her Retire because then I'll think of talking to me, right? We have the same first name, obviously. So, but anyway, today's keyword is congrats to Retire Abroad Finance. For real. I mean, how many years you've been working Retire Abroad? Do you want to share that with us? Because I'm sure it's well-deserved retirement here. And now she can share her journey on YouTube as she, I guess, retires abroad, right? Probably saves a hell of a lot of money doing that, right? Not like my dumbass here sitting in the most expensive state in the US, but you know, it is what it is. But anyway, guys, that's the keyword. Since I was 11. All right. So yeah, there's the keyword. Congratulations, Retire Abroad Finance. For real, for real. All right. That's the keyword. So if you made it this far in the video, you got to type that in either YouTube or X. That way I know, everyone else knows you freaking made it to the end of the video. All right. All right. That's the end. I'm out of here. Hope everyone has a great day, and we shall talk tomorrow. All right. Peace.